this. Is there anything you want the fans to know or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.
Hey everyone, Jedi Mike here. I'm back with another video. Hope you guys can see me. Hope you guys can hear me. I think I hear myself very, very well. Hope you guys are having a great day. We are back with another edition of Jedi Mike 7 Movie News Show. And if you're watching on the pre-recording right now, thank you for stopping by. Make sure you leave a like and comment and also subscribe and share to somebody who's new to the channel. Hopefully we can provide some good content for you. Today we have a lot of topics that got dropped from last week's show to this week's show. As a reminder, that we will be only doing one live stream a week, Mondays, and we will which is going to be from 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys hit the notification bell on your way in and also on your way out, so you can be up to date on every new upload we have coming from this channel. I also want to thank for new subscribers as well. We just we gained about 40 I think 48 subscribers in the last week or two, and appreciate you guys. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and everything, and we still keep growing and we keep grinding. So yeah, but I thank you guys for stopping by. But I also want to just talk about some news that just dropped today, literally right before the stream even started, and that is that you see down below that in Superman Legacy Star, that James Gunn, the new Superman movie is coming out in July, I believe July 11th, 2025, which is the beginning of the new DC universe that James Gunn is creating. We already have our new Superman, David Cornsweet, as well as our new Lois Lane, as well as been cast for that film. And we've been slowly seeing other actors been cast in this film. We know we just got off the actors SAG-AFTRA strike, and now there have been new things that have been dropped, but now castings are now coming back, and we have a whole list of castings we're going to be going over the show. But today I gotta share to y'all that we actually find out that whether this person is the main villain of this film, we don't know for sure, but we do know that in terms of their comic book history, let me make sure I get this correct. Struggle streaming already, y'all. That we have the actor, where is that? Boom. Nicholas Hoult. That's right. Nicholas Hoult has been cast as Lex Luthor, or at least being in talks with it, but basically confirmed. This is coming from Deadline that actor Nicholas Hoult has been in talks and looking to be cast as our new Lex Luthor. We do know that Nicholas Hoult was in the running to be Superman himself, Clark Kent, but that role went over to David Cornsweet. But yes, this is going to be, looks like all roads are pointing to that he's going to be our Lex Luthor. And now I want to say this. Now, I think that for one, I think this is a great opportunity for Nicholas Hoult. He has played comic book characters before. He did play Beast for many different X-Men films. But one thing that I appreciate what they were doing with this casting again is that we're slowly are trying to get this new age of DC universe and trying to get to these characters back to their core, who they are. And Lex Luthor is an iconic super villain to Superman. But more importantly, he has evolved in many different iterations in terms of his appearance in comics, video games, and movies. Right, but with Nicholas Hoult, I think this is almost a hybrid of more of the traditional Lex Luthor we get from someone you see in the Superman animated series, but also more modern, like New 52 telling. But I think again, he looks like it. Obviously, they just have to probably shave his hair and all that stuff. But I think, as terms of his capability as an actor, I don't think that that if he got this role, he would not disappoint at all. I think he's a good actor. He was up for the running for Superman, and he was also up for the running of the recent Robert Pattinson film, The Batman, from Matt Reeves. And he didn't get that role. So twice he didn't get these two icons, but this one, third time's the charm, and it'd probably be with this character. Now, again, whether we don't know that this is going to be the villain of the movie, there's been reports about Brainiac possibly being the villain. We also got recent casting that actress known as, I believe, making sure I pronounce her name right, Venezuelan actress Maria Gabriela da Fria. She plays the role as the engineer in this film. That engineer is like one of the characters somewhat related to the Authority or something like that. No, my knowledge of the Authority is not that clear, but I want to make sure that I'm pronouncing her name correctly and everything. But sorry, just making sure you guys can hear me good. All right, cool. But one thing that I do think they're going to actually do with this character again is I'm definitely going to be fleshing him out. I want to see this be the traditional Lex Luthor that we all remember, but also again give it just somewhat of a new take, but not to a point that this character is unrecognizable. Right? We've seen previous iterations of Lex Luthor by Jesse Eisenberg, and we saw how that turned out and stuff, but I have no doubt that if he got this role, that this actor, Nicholas Hoult, will kill it in terms of playing the role of Lex Luthor. But more importantly, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you're watching this live or you're watching this in a pre-recording right now, what are your thoughts on Nicholas Hoult playing Lex Luthor in the new James Gunn film, Superman Legacy? Again, Superman Legacy will be coming out in July 11th, 2025. So we got about 2 years. We do know that production of the film will be starting, I think, sometime in March of next year. But we do know that's the script and everything is slowly approaching. We see David Cornsweet getting into the role and stuff like that now. But do I think Nicholas Hoult can match his character? Only time will tell. But again, what are your thoughts on Nicholas Hoult playing Lex Luthor? All right, guys. Now going into the next topic here. Now we have a lot of things to break into, but before we get into that, I also want to shout, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Make sure you hit notification bell on upcoming uploads we have coming from this channel. Now, last week, I actually had the privilege of watching the prequel story of Hunger Games. I think it was the Songbird and Snakes film, and I have a lot to say about this film. Again, I am a Hunger Games fan. I read all the books and I actually did not read. However, I did not read the recent book that this film is based off of, which is supposed to be a prequel. I went in this movie blind, and I wanted to see what this film was going to be about. Give me 1 second, y'all, as I get this here. Making sure Songbird and Snakes. Give me 1 second, y'all. Yeah, right here. So with this film, this is a prequel of the famous novel or famous book series. Let me get this right here. Boom. Just 1 second. Yeah, we want to talk about this casting too. Oop, damn it. 1 second, y'all. Shoot, trying to get this damn thing. Copy image address. Boom. There we go. All right. Now, so here's my review of the recent film, The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes. This is a prequel film of the Hunger Games franchise, the 4-film series, but 3-book franchise that came out a few years ago when I was a lot younger. But again, me and my wife, we had the privilege of watching the fan screening for this film, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on this. Now, again, this is a prequel. There's some characters that might seem familiar to you. This can be the main character is basically a younger version of President Snow. I actually really enjoy what they were trying to do with this. The 2 main actors in this film is Tom Blythe, who play the young version of President Snow, and also Rachel Zegler, who also plays the female lead in this film, and she plays a character called Lucy Gray. And she's basically a character from the 12th district, and she gets into, I believe, at this time, the 10th Hunger Games. And now Tom Blythe plays a young President Snow. He's not president, but he is a young student in the academy during in Panem. And now we also have other actors too, like Peter Dinklage and Viola Davis. And basically, we're seeing the inner workings of the beginning of the Hunger Games. And then and basically we know from this that the Hunger Games itself are not that popular. Nobody's watching it. We know they just had a war during the Panem and the early war, the Great War and everything that separated the 12 districts from Panem City and everything. But with this story, we're basically seeing how does this character Cornelius Snow become the character we all know, President Snow. And again, it's going back to the line that the original actor that plays President Snow in the franchise saying this line is the things that we love the most that destroy us. And what you see here is basically a villain. You can say a villain origin story, but more also just saying that whether a villain is born bad or the world changes them to become who they are, and whether you choose to cross that line or not, that's up to you. And that the choices that you make define you. And also when you have a goal in mind to basically rise to the top, what are you going to do? What lines are you going to cross to get to that point? And again, we've seen this as well as the Hunger Games, what they do in terms of the civilization, what they do to people. And some people don't like the Hunger Games, and some people utilize it, right? And we're seeing some characters like Viola Davis, who is one of the game makers. She's the great game maker who basically make this game a spectacle. And Peter Dinklage character, he plays basically the person who created the Hunger Games. Now, and you're seeing all this stuff in its early inception. Again, I have not read the books, but to me, I thought this was a very enjoyable film. I do think that for some, we saw this film twice. I do believe in second viewing that this film does have a little bit of pacing issues for the most part, but not as much as the point that I don't think this film's not rewatchable. Again, with this film, there's a very dialogue heavy film, especially when it deals with parts of after you get to the second act of the film, that's when things start to get slow. But obviously with the story, it makes sense when you watch it. But I thought they did a very good job. Now I know one character I want to point out is Lucy Gray, who is played by Rachel Zegler, and she represents the songbird in this story. And the songbird, or the mockingjay as you may call, you're seeing a lot of this her character is basically the inner workings of who Katniss Everdeen is going to be, right? Being the rebel, being the person that doesn't play by the rules and stuff. But you're seeing that sort of her mannerisms is something that Katniss Everdeen, for who's also from District 12. You see where it came from, and not to spoil anything, but they definitely do leave some Easter eggs of things that they are hinting at. If you've seen the original films, that they actually are building up to, which you then it's kind of fascinating to see just the seeds that are planted, especially when we get to the character of Katniss Everdeen in the future. She's not here in this film, obviously, but also just the presence of the Mockingjay and what the Mockingjay represents and what does a snake represent, which is another element in this film, in terms of in terms of a metaphor in this film, right? But really the big star I got to give a huge shout out to is Tom Blythe, who plays young President Snow, or Cornelius Snow, Coriolanus Snow. And he does a fantastic job here. Definitely, you see this being a younger version of that character, but you see the inner workings of him being more menacing, and also that the more sinister side of him definitely comes up to the end, as you can see. But just in terms of this journey that this character has took for you to actually see what he actually gone through to become who he is also just a self-reflection of who we are as people. That is there a line that we cross? Are we capable of being evil, or are we capable of being good? Or is that evil inside of us, or has the world that we live in basically made us who we are? And the circumstance of the Hunger Games, basically tested you. The character Viola Davis, who plays a game maker in this film, she did a very good job. But what she represents a lot is more of just telling what ask the question what the Hunger Games are for, right? And from face value, you think, oh, it's just to punish the districts for them, revolting to us during the war, and that's not it, right? Really is the real Hunger Games in the arena, or the outside world is the real arena. And and when does when the prey eventually becomes the predator, right? And then you go with those type of discussions and themes in this film. I do enjoy, again, some of the pacing. There is also some songs, obviously, with the title with Songbird. Rachel Zegler has a beautiful voice. I know she's also going to be playing Snow White very, very soon. And I know there's been a lot of controversy with that actress in terms of what she's been saying, publicly. But I do believe that she did a great job in this role. Do I believe this film is the best thing in the world out of the franchise? No. Hunger Games: Catching Fire is still my favorite. I think I probably make this probably my third favorite Hunger Games film. Because I not saying I didn't like the Mockingjay part 1 or part 2. It's just that I find this film a little more entertained than those two films. But I do put the original Hunger Games above this, and then Catching Fire as my number 1. But yeah, I do think you guys will have a good time watching this film. I highly recommend it, and make sure you go check out Hunger Games: The Battle of Songbirds and Snakes, which is in theaters right now. And let me know what your guys' thoughts on the film. If you have seen the film, let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on this new Hunger Games prequel. Do you want to see more Hunger Games prequels aside from this? I know people wanted to see prequel to Woody Harrelson's character from the original films and stuff. I know I do. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. All right, y'all. Now, after doing my review of terms of the Hunger Games franchise and all that, there's also been new announcements going on in the world of Marvel, and also there's been a huge box office drop off in the Marvel universe with these films, and we're gonna get into it, and that goes into our next section on what's new in the MCU. All right, guys, we are back. So in the world of Marvel, there have been a lot of, again, we just had the casting announcements on Superman Legacy, even though that's DC. But we also have another big announcement that came out about last Wednesday. And and I'm still kind of grasping my head around this and don't know how I really feel about this, to be honest with you. But without further ado, that we've looks like we probably have gotten our um, Mr. Fantastic, and that is no other than Pedro Pascal. Yes, the Mandalorian. Yes, Joe from Last of Us. Yes, the dude from Spy Kids or whatever the movie was called, Armageddon, whatever it's called. Yes, the dude from Game of Thrones. Yes, 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 yes. The villain from Wonder Woman, Maxwell Lord, and whatever his character is. Yes, he will be playing. He will be playing Reed Richards. Now, um, my thoughts on this, whether at first I was grasping my head around this because I thought my first initial response was this is a safe casting move because the fact that you already have Pedro Pascal in the world of Disney because of a Mandalorian and stuff like that. I just think that, and he's already playing like type of father figure roles. Especially in The Last of Us and The Mandalorian. But while all that, I think he's a fantastic actor. I just did not, when I first looked at it, I did not see myself viewing Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, and it has to grow on me a little bit. But again, you cannot tell me that this guy's not a world-class actor. To every role that he's been given, he give it 110%, even when in terms of the performance or none, the film that he's been in have not been good or whatever. He has been also been a great performer in those roles. So I really do look forward to this. Now we know Fantastic Four, I believe, will be coming out in 2025, and we'll be learning very, very soon of the rest of the cast of Fantastic Four. But only time will tell in terms of how we'll actually see this, casting actually grow on me in terms of see if he's actually capable of being the smartest man in the Marvel universe, especially playing this title character. Now we know in the MCU is not the first time we've seen a Reed Richards because we've seen John Krasinski, who played Mr. Fantastic in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which I thought did a very good job for the role he was given in the very short amount of time you've gotten. But I do believe that Pedro Pascal will be a great Reed Richards. But again, when this first casting call came out, I was shocked. I didn't know what I thought about it, but only time will tell what we think about in terms of this role for this actor, Pedro Pascal. We shall see. Only time will tell. But more importantly, let me know in the comment section down below if you're watching this live or in the pre-recording your thoughts on Pedro Pascal being cast as Mr. Fantastic. So I'm still grasping my head around this to see that this man is going to be our Mr. Fantastic. Reed Richards, the smartest man alive in the Marvel universe. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. All right. Now, with the overarching, trend of the Marvel universe, we know for a fact that there have been recent Marvel movies have not been, up to par, or reaching a standard that we so-called think that to be a good film or not, right? Now, some of those films, some people might like more than others, but one film that really got me that I did not like was Thor: Love and Thunder. And I actually really despise this film to a point really with a huge disdain because I really felt that film, the plot with everything was bad, and actually I think the best part of that film was Jane Foster as the female Thor, and and I felt that film really got demolished, especially having Christian Bale as the villain. It wasted the opportunity for that actor, let alone that character. But yeah, I had issues with Thor: Love and Thunder, but there have been recent talks now that Marvel is pursuing to move forward with another installment into the Thor franchise, Thor 5. But here's the catcher. Looks like that even though Chris Hemsworth as Thor will be coming back, most likely, Looks like that Taika Waititi will not be coming back in this as the director of this film. This is coming from I believe us at Deadline that that Thor 5 is currently in development without Taika Waititi helming the project. So for those of you guys who do not know, that Taika Waititi did direct 2 of Thor films. He directed Thor Ragnarok, which I enjoyed, but he also directed Thor Love and Thunder. And what it looks like right now that he is not going to be associated with that project whatsoever. Now, whether he's going to be doing other Marvel movies or just other projects, we shall see. We know that he was in development in terms of talking about making another Star Wars film, his own type of Star Wars film, but we heard no really development or stages on that other than him just talking that he is going to be making one. But with Lucasfilm and with Disney, only time will tell whether that is actually factual or just, or just make believe. But now, when we talk about Chris Hemsworth coming back, now we have to talk about what happened in the last Thor movie, and also Chris Hemsworth's thoughts on the last Thor, because he said that he did not want to come back unless we have Thor being a more like serious tone, and I agree with that. I agree that they should have no way should have demolished his character just the way they've done other legacy or OG characters like Bruce Banner, the Hulk, and nerfing him and other characters and stuff like that. But Chris Hemsworth, I love him as Thor, but again, Ragnarok was good for what it was, but then we're now starting to see this film, now getting to a point where it's that it's basically getting to a point of I won't say being jokey, but really just stupid. The fact that out of all these films, the only thing that we're getting now is just a bunch of dumb jokes and goat jokes. And yet here we are, not in the first, not in the second, but and not in the third, but the 4th film in this franchise now. And now it gets to the point that all the character development of this character of Thor is literally going to be gone away with the snap. But hopefully we can have a film that can revive this character to its glory that we remember. Now, you guys not watching Loki, you were definitely missing out. Loki just had the season 2 finale, and it was fantastic. But now we're seeing that that Loki as a character has better character development and writing than actually Thor, who's in the movies. And when I felt that the biggest issue with Marvel is not in terms of visual effects or directors, it really goes back to the writing of these characters and what we know and what we love about them, right? And it's just weird to me the fact that now we have Loki, the side character, the villain of Thor films, in the beginning, is now has a way better character development than the main guy, Thor himself. And it's a shame, but do I think this character is far from being redeemed? No, absolutely not. And as you can see, that definitely after Thor Love and Thunder, they are building up to potentially Hercules being the villain in the next Thor film. Now we know in the comics, Thor and Hercules have been going toe-to-toe in the comics for years. Definitely them being, gods and everything like that. They've had a long relationship in the comics, and it really be nice to see them actually do it very well. But again, I don't want you to bring a cool character like Hercules and make a joke out of him. I really hope that they do this character very well, and not, again, just not make him a joke, because we've been down this road before with Marvel, whether the characters like Beta Ray Bill or whatever, and then the female Thor, which I actually enjoyed, but again, they just did not capitalize on that. This is a good character, Hercules, but again, with what Marvel is doing right now, only time will tell in terms of actually do this character justice and make him a very a actual threat in this film. So but only time will tell, and we'll see. But I'm not trying to just trying to speak negative. I'm just speaking reality on this. But shout out to Information Man in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Also, shout out to you in that other stream, that Divine Nine stream, and clarifying some misinformation. Um, yeah. Respect to D9, respect to 1906. But yeah, you're saying that they made a joke out of Thor is a damn shame. It absolutely is. Absolutely is. And I do not think that for 1 second they need another film of a wasted character, because we are not only seeing Disney Plus shows, but movies that have been wasting these characters that they've been building off of for years. And right now they need more of a win than just a pass away film. Well, I can just watch this on Disney Plus. No, they need a hit. They need to have character development like they had with Guardians of the Galaxy, which concluded a bunch of good characters. But again, now that James Gunn will go on to DC, that whole chapter is wrapped, and now we're getting to other characters and stuff. So, but we will know that Chris Hemsworth will most likely will be returning in the fifth film, but only time will tell in terms of who's going to be the villain, what's the story, and also even if the audience even want another Thor movie. I don't know. I can't honestly ask that question if fans really excited after what they saw recently with this film back in, I believe, 2022, and when I think almost a year ago when Love and Thunder came out, and slowly just Marvel's going to decline like this, and they don't need this. But let me know in the comment section down below. You're watching it live or in the pre-recording. Your thoughts on Chris Hemsworth returning for a fifth Thor film. Taika Waititi as director is not returning. And also, do you even want a Thor movie? Do you want to see Chris Hemsworth come back as Thor, but as the jokey Thor or as the God of Thunder? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, guys. Now, our next topic here. Well, not in the world of the MCU. But there was a trailer that came out recently called Madam Web. Now, some of you Spider-Man fans don't know who Madam Web is. Let me educate you. The character Cassandra Webb is basically a character that now before I go into detail with this, if any guys know who Madam Web is in the comments, let me know or comment section down below, because this is it's a massive Spider-Man character, crucial one, but not really well markable other than an animated cartoon show back in the 90s. But I'll give you guys the know-how right here. So Madam Web is a character called Cassandra Webb, and she's basically a character who has connections connections to the Web of Destiny. Now, for you guys to know who the Web of Destiny is, it's basically the concept of the multiverse within the Spider-Verse, right? So she's able to tap to many different universes and everything with different Spider-Man characters, so she's able to connect to them. Now in the film, you're seeing here that she is able to see the future, has precognition, everything like that, but she also has other psychic abilities too. But she, in the comics originally, she had like a certain a condition that paralyzed her, and she's in this chair, this contraption that was made by her deceased husband and everything, and she's also blind. And this is the more traditional Cassandra Webb, Madam Web that we know. Now the one on the left is the more modern version of Madam Web, which is just Jessica Carpenter Madam Web character, which is plays the same concept, but as you can see here, she has the red jacket. Now we're seeing this character here that she has the red jacket in this film, and not playing the more traditional version of that character. But that's basically what it is. Now in the film, what they're doing is making this type of Final Destination type mess, where a character called Ezekiel Sims, who is another Spider-Man character, is actually going after and attacking these Spider Women in this film. And the only issue is that Madam Web, Cassandra Webb, the character, she has the ability to see the future and see things before they happen, right? And now she's basically connected to these other Spider Women, and she's there to basically save them, protect them, because they actually have a long history of in the comics that they're going to eventually become Spider Women themselves. Now there's many different Spider Women characters here. We have the Julia Carpenter Spider Woman that you see. I'm about to put the um put it right here. Ooh, let me get it right here. There you go. Yeah, this is the actress that's from Euphoria. She did a good job in Euphoria. But yeah, this is the actress that's playing one of the Spider Women in this film, and we have other characters too. So Spider Girl, another a version of Spider Woman as well. But the real question is whether this trailer actually delivered in terms of you wanting to see this movie. And I'm gonna be quite frankly, be honest with you. I thought this trailer looked absolutely cheap. I think to me, I have a sense of like I've seen movies a lot, so I had kind of a general consensus whether that if this in terms of films being shot and the cinematography and all that stuff, but this film looked really cheap to me. It looks like CW type of like this should be on television, and no disrespect in terms of whether this movie can be bad, because hey, we've seen good trailers to bad movies and we've seen bad trailers to good movies, but the whole point is, are you selling me right now that you want me to go see this in the theater? And right now you haven't sold me. Yeah, this is one of the versions of Spider Woman's what there. You also have another version of Spider Girl in the trailer as well. But to me, I really didn't like. I mean, it might be an interesting concept that we have this woman, Cassandra Webb, now connected to these different Spider Women who have a destiny to become Spider Women themselves, and this guy Ezekiel Sims who have spider-like abilities, as you see in the trailer. But this as a comic book person, this looks very obscure to me. I don't want to just prejudge and say this looks horrible, but this film does not make me this trailer does not make me interested in actually seeing this this film. And again, we know that this is Sony has definitely been firing all cylinders aside from like Morbius and other stuff like that, but it is connected somewhat could be connected into the Spider-Verse now. Thing that I actually hope that they do is that they actually invest in terms of using the character of Spider-Woman to actually connect to the other movies and two other characters like Tom Holland, Spider-Man, like potential live action Miles Morales, right? Because she's used as a character as a template to connect to all these other spider people and everything. But I'm not, as a comic person, I'm not a fan of what they've been doing with terms of Sony verse, aside from like the animated movies of Across the Spider-Verse, which is fantastic, and in the recent Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man No Way Home. And we do know for a fact that Spider-Man 4 will actually be going in production next year. There's been no word on director or anything. We do know they're developing the story right now, but we do know for a fact it will be going in production beginning or late of next year, which probably most likely either get a 2025 or possibly more likely a 2026 release. So they can actually try to connect all these things together, because we know that we got Venom is right now still in production. It got back. There's start filming again right now with Tom Hardy for the third Venom movie. And we also got the other film, Kraven the Hunter, which can be coming out in October of next year. Got delayed a full year. We're supposed to already seen this movie, by the way, Kraven the Hunter. But I think Madam Web is probably the key to probably connecting all this together. But again, I don't think that this trailer did a good job actually making me invested and me really want me to see this. Now, there have been rumors that potentially, because this whole Final Destination concept, there are rumors that there's other characters in the trailer, such as like one of the paramedics is possibly Ben Parker, Uncle Ben, and we also have another actress, Julia Roberts, playing a character who's have not been named, and she might be playing I think Mary Parker, which is Peter Parker's mother. And I think that what they're trying to do is possibly do a thing where Ezekiel Sims, the villain, is trying to prevent the birth of Spider-Man, which could be a cool concept, but we didn't get enough of Spider-Man stuff in this trailer. And without the Marvel logo, you'd be confused whether this was even related to Spider-Man whatsoever. So and that, to me, I feel they need to do a better job connecting that and to hopefully hook viewers into not the fact this is a female film and everything like that. It's just the fact that to me, it first initial thoughts, it looked cheap to me. Only time will tell what they see, and hopefully have a better edited trailer. But we do know this film will be coming out, I believe, in I want to say March, either March, yeah, sometime of next year. So it'll be coming out. It won't be that long till we have to see this film in theaters. But the question is, are you going to see this film, Madam Web, in theaters? Let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, saying Madam Web. If you guys don't know, go check out the Spider-Man animated series. They've done a few episodes that included Cassandra Webb, the traditional Madam Web in the comics. So that's, I feel like, your best point of reference there. They do have a more modern version of the character, which you see in the movie, but only time will tell though. Information Man show said, "I've seen the trailer now. Looks bad, like up." Yeah. And I think that's for me, and not trying to judge it or anything. It's just like just being I'm a film critic, and I'm giving you my subjective criticism on this. But yeah, this doesn't look really good at all, or anything like that. So only time will tell that. But now, before we get into our next topic, we're gonna go to a short break, and we're gonna be in the next topic. We're gonna be covering over the historic box office flop of the Marvels, which will be coming out in just a few seconds. So we'll be right back for a short break, and we'll be right back.
I'm Miss Minutes, and it's my job to catch you up, so let's not waste another minute. Settle in, sharpen your pencils, and check this out.
And we are back. We are back. Thank you for stopping by to Jedi Mike 7 Movie News Show. And we are back, and we're about to go into our next topic today. Our next topic is going to be the historic box office flop of the Marvels. Yes, I know last week basically gave our thoughts on the Marvels, in terms of our review of this film and everything. But there has been, people been enjoying the film, and I saw this film for a second time. I actually enjoyed it the second time than the first, which is good. My wife actually enjoyed this movie, and I think that the word of mouth is going on, but the point is not just about word of mouth. The question is, people going to go watch this movie, and we've gotten an update from Variety that that the box office drop of this film is actually a new record, but not for the good reasons. This is coming from a report right now that with the glut of new offering ticket sales for Disney's superhero sequel, The Marvels, cratered by 78% to land another record, the biggest second weekend drop off by far in history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Before this weekend, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania withstood that largest decline of the franchise with a 69.9% drop off. Now, for those of you guys who understand that usually films have a drop off after the second week of this release, right? Usually if a film has about 30 or 40% drop off is nearly okay, all right. 40 to 50% is something that really, not good, but again, it's not as catastrophic as what you're seeing right now, it being 78% drop off and or 69% drop off like you see with these two films. After noticing the worst start in the entire MCU, the Marvels tied for third place with $10.2 million from 4,030 theaters, bringing it to domestic tally to 65 million in the U.S. and 65 million in terms of domestic box office. the $200 million plus budget. Again, let me say that this film cost over $220 million to make this movie. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But excuse me, let me give me 1 second right here. Right here. This $220 million plus budget tentpole is the rare Marvel movie to underperform at the box office. And a part of the problem is that it's bearing the brunt of the audience fatigue towards its sprawling franchise. But at this rate, it may not even match the opening weekend of its predecessor. If you remember, 2019's Captain Marvel made $153 million by the end of its opening weekend. By the end of its theatrical run, it made over $1 billion in terms of the box office. Now it's shaping up to be the first MCU movie to fall short of 100 million at the domestic box office. All right, guys. Now, with this film, again, I think there's good things in this movie. But again, I said this before and I said it again, this movie was very disjointed. And it was very frustrating to see this because we know where Marvel movies can be. We know for a fact that Marvel can be great films because we've been following them for over 10 years. But with this, with the writing of this, you're seeing people talking about this movie, but you're not seeing people talking about how much they love this movie, right? To a point that you're seeing this for a second time, right? That's the whole point. Money talks and BS walks. It doesn't matter if I like the movie. The question is whether you like the movie. Are you going to pay your dollar to go see this film again, right? And my frustration with this is not the fact that I think this is a bad movie. I think this is a film that has a lot of problems, but had good things in the movie that actually made the problems more present because you had things that worked, but you didn't capitalize on it. There's no way on the terms of based on paper that any of these three characters, Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Miss Marvel, which Vellani, which I love, by the way, you cannot say that you cannot make a great story with these characters. And it's not even the problem with these characters. The problem is the writing. Again, there's a rule I have with now to the point that we've seen, getting out the way in terms of the issue with these last several Marvel movies and Disney Plus shows. It never put your universe before your characters. What I mean by that? Now, we understand Marvel is a connected universe, but once you start bringing it up and start building off of that, it tends to get wider, right? But the base of why you love the MCU is not because everything's connected, it's because they have great characters, right? And I believe that for a fact that this film, the Marvels, have great characters. The problem is you don't have rides to back these great characters. As you see, the fact that the story itself, it was not even to a point where actually even to explain to you what actually happened in this movie. I can't even tell you what the villain name of this film is. But regardless of that, the issue, the fact there is a decline of Marvel that's happening, whether you like it or not, that's what's happening right now. But how you can resolve this, right? How can you resolve this issue? Because it's not the fact that we don't. Let me be frank. There are a lot of people who also just want to harp on this movie, definitely because this being a female film of female heroine, but also the fact you have Brie Larson as the lead role, and people have issue with Brie Larson in terms of media right now, and I understand. But regardless of that, I'm able a person that can give you my subjective opinion, but be as objective as possibly as I can. That makes sense. And the issue I have is the fact that with this film is that that there is no point to this film that actually have any type of impact in terms of the entirety of the MCU. Even if the fact that you get to the end, which the end credit scene, what they tease up. Okay, cool. We have Young Avengers coming up. We have Iman Vellani and we have Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop, which I enjoyed, by the way, in the Hawkeye series. But the fact is that they're saying a property that most of y'all probably not even going to care about. I can guarantee that some of y'all don't even care about the Young Avengers. But as terms of most people, to the point that if they make a movie, it's going to be financially successful. If they make a Disney Plus show, will people even watch it? Do they even care? Right? And it's not even the issue with the performances of these characters. Again, it's just what the story that you have them standing on, which is your foundation. You don't have that, then the whole script, the whole film, everything aside from visual effects, action, all that all falls. Right. And once you have a consistent pattern of that, you only train me as an audience member, not just me as a film critic, but to the general going movie public, is that, you know what, I don't have to go watch the opening day. I can just go watch this, wait for this to come on Disney Plus in a couple months or whatever, which is going to be coming in Disney Plus very, very soon, especially after this weekend. Best believe it. Best believe it. But you have to understand, this movie came in terms of third. Shout out to Marcus in the building. Shout out to Marcus. This movie came out tying third in the box office in the second weekend, having almost over a 78% drop off. That's not good. And I understand that, you know, people who are on YouTube and everything want to come going and, you know, and bash, you know, on it and everything and have
Emotional damage.
But regardless of that, you know, I think the biggest thing really here is with Disney and Marvel itself, right? Because I said this before, that my issue with Marvel for most of the time has been nothing else in terms of the last few movies, two phases of Marvel Phase 4 and Phase 5. I can tell you that my issue and my response to Disney and Marvel right now is this.
I am sick. I am sick of your shit. And when I'm not sick, I'm tired. I am sick and tired.
I am tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. And I think right now, the fact that we're getting one Marvel movie next year, I think is coming in perfect timing. And I think what Marvel Studio needs as a company. Before I even get to that, I just want to shout out the comment here. Marcus said there's not enough young male teenage Avengers to balance the female Avengers. We went from a healthy male masculinity and testosterone or to too much estrogen, and for the cost of movie tickets to save you money. Well, here's the thing. I believe this for a second, that representation does matter. Representation matters, right? About representation, when we got in films like Black Panther, we got in some characters in comics and back in the day that we know that we all love and care about. But again, it has nothing to do with race, and not even nothing to do with gender. It has everything to do with character, right? And again, the point that I always say is this: never have your universe or your agenda before your characters. The reason why we actually like Guardians of the Galaxy, the fact that we have great characters, that to the point that in 3 movies and 2 Avengers movies, that we actually gave a damn about a talking raccoon. That we actually gave a damn about this character, right? To the point that we saw a group of friends who began as criminals and as misfits at the end of the movie, and they didn't care nobody about themselves. Now in their third and final movie, here they are caring about this, about their friend, trying to save his life, right? Even a new film, right? Shang-Chi is one of the most underrated Marvel movies right now. I said it, I said it, and I will not take it back, right? And the fact that story is basically telling you what it is about a father who basically is a villain who fell in love with this woman and basically gave in a terms of his life as being this massive criminal. Starts a family, he loses his wife, and all of a sudden he drives to a point where he becomes someone unrecognizable, which then breaks off that relationship with his son and with his family and everything, to the point that now he's becoming the very thing that his wife pulled him out of, and now he's going back into, right? And it's basically a relationship between a son and a father. And I really appreciate what they were doing with this movie. But again, all that aside, with the Marvels, I felt like the biggest issue that Marvels not have is the fact that they did not really have a great story. For example, you know, this movie should have been about the relationship between Monica Rambeau and Carol Danvers. We start out this film, you know, with these 2 characters when Monica Rambeau was a little girl, all right? And the fact that we had, in WandaVision, which was set up beautifully, by the way, that this character was going to be and had issues with Captain Marvel, the fact that she left. And now here we are 30 years later now, and now it's just like the character development of this, got saved by what? By one hug and one tear that Brie Larson made, which with one teardrop and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, but only time will tell in terms of what the direction that Marvel's going to be taking with these characters and everything. But I really hope again that people understand that it's not that I'm trying to harp on this film or anything like that. Is that I generally feel that this film had issues, but there was a good thing in there. And the fact that they went on this weird direction and then really had nothing to back it up, even to a point when big moments happen, you don't care. You don't care the fact that Beast show up at the end of the movie and setting up the X-Men. Yeah, you might have smiled, but again, it's like the fact that the way we got to this point, it was very frustrating. And again, I do feel that there were good things in this movie that they had going for it. But Marvel again needs a wake up call with these characters in terms of the writing and understanding that again, take agenda out of it. Take the fact that you just have all these characters that everybody everybody like female characters, so therefore we should just go for it. No. There's great female characters who have great writing. Most of them are in the X-Men in the comics right now, right? But regardless of that, I said in my review, I love Monica Rambeau. And I love Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel. And Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel, again, right now is the heart of the MCU. Right now she is. And the fact that she's right now one of the best parts of the MCU right now is Miss Marvel. But the issue is nobody watched her Disney Plus show. Nobody watched it. And nobody cares. But she's one of the best characters, in terms of personality. And again, it wasn't for her. It wasn't for Iman Vellani. Wasn't for Tiana Paris as Monica Rambeau. Again, I said this movie would be unwatchable. Movie would absolutely be unwatchable. And I think what they done, that's one of the best castings they got in terms of post Phase 4. Post Endgame, they definitely did a good job with casting Miss Marvel, and that's who she is as a character and who she is, and they did a good job. And I look forward to her in terms of future installments and actually care about this character. But again, the whole point about are you able to bring this type of character development into the films? And you can't do that, then unfortunately nobody's gonna give a damn. This was saying in the comments, Marcus was saying, unfortunately, the bad was the majority of the film. Usually weighs more of it. Bad was mostly likely to be bad. Like, yeah, I mean, if the negative outweigh the cons, and most of the time, then obviously you're not gonna be watching this film. I understand. Shout out to Wally in the building. Shout out to Wally. He said, so far, X-Men is the only thing I keep on seeing. Wait, is there agenda in this? Well, right. Well, we don't know. Again, you don't know for a fact, and we'll see in Deadpool 3. But again, I said this before, and I say it again. I believe that Deadpool 3 is my most anticipated movie of next year. Definitely my most anticipated movie of next year. But only time will tell in terms of like when Ryan Reynolds will deliver in terms of the writing of that character. And bringing in the X-Men now in Marvel Studios. And again, I easily see Deadpool 3 being $1 billion. Easily. And which, by the way, this film will be actually going back in production later this week. So they will be start filming very, very soon, right before Thanksgiving. So yeah, this is happening, y'all. This film is coming out. It's coming out in July, the week of Comic-Con. And so, yeah, the mark is saying stick to original, pay respect to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and a list of other origin and character arcs. Well, yeah, regardless of that, again, I also think the fact that you don't really have a lot of popular characters, but in order for you to make them popular, you have to have great writing. You have to have something that the characters, that the audience can resonate to. But if that's not going to happen, then why are you like? Why do we care? Why do we give a damn? Right? You know, nobody's going to give a damn about this if we don't. You know, oh, okay, great. If this is a female type character, oh, we're great if this is a black character, and nobody cares, nobody's watching it, and that's it, and nobody's resonating with it. That's not going to happen. So, yeah, but again, only time will tell. Only time will tell with that, though. But yeah, but we also know as comic fans, whether it's in general or more informed comic fans know there are female characters, yet when we really saw the best parts of masculine dominate gladiator type out. But yeah, well, aside from all of that, again, I am not going to say that that this film or the Marvels had the fact that it not being male dominated is the issue. Again, we have great female characters in media before. You know, we had Sarah Connor. We have in terms of the Alien franchise, with Sigourney Weaver. So it's not that, and me personally, that if they're gonna have more female characters, that's gonna be bad. But again, also there is a balance too. To be honest with you, it's like, okay, great, have great female characters. Let's have a good time. I really hope when DC they eventually do a Gotham City Sirens movie with Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn. Right, that's a great story, and I like those characters. But if it's a horrible story, I'm not going to like it. Same thing with Birds of Prey. That was a horrible movie with a lot of female characters, but the issue wasn't the fact that it was female, in fact that it just wasn't bad writing. Now, I know I might be the minority in this and stuff, but I know for a fact that there is a pattern and it is an issue that's happening within Marvel right now. The fact that this has the historic 78% drop off in the box office right now. And that's showing you again repeat viewings. That is what brings people back into the theaters, and what shuts up people who just want to troll this movie. The fact that there are women in these roles, right? And people who haven't even saw this movie and just watch YouTube videos and be grifters, right? Again, I said some positives in this movie, and I also said some negatives in the movie. But regardless of that, I believe that this is going to be a great film. This could have been a great film if you had great character development behind it to back it up. That's all, But the real question is, what do you guys think about the 78% drop off in the box office? Let me know in the comment section down below, and let me know your thoughts. Yeah. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to list my notes right here. That basically concludes my topics right now. But yeah, we're basically gonna be cutting this live stream short. Because I just got some things gotta get ready doing. But I will be back very, very soon, y'all. Make sure you guys hit notification bell on your way out. And make sure you guys subscribe to Jedi Mike 7. Share this video. Share to people if you are interested in comic books, interested in movies. I have some interviews that I'll be dropping off very, very soon. And yeah, we're almost at 700 subscribers. I just want to thank everybody who have supported me on this journey and everything. We'll be back next week on Monday. We'll be providing updates and stuff throughout the week and stuff and other videos. But make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. And also provide me some feedback to let me know in the comment section how to improve in terms of content for you guys. And again, any constructive criticism is good criticism. I want to be better as a content creator. Make sure you guys also subscribe to other content creators in the chat as well. Look up to them in terms of how they run their streams and everything. Definitely love to receive wisdom and also support other content creators as well. But yeah, guys, that's another episode of Jedi Mike 7 Movie News Show. Until next time, I'm Jedi Mike 7. God bless y'all. Peace. We are out.
Is there anything you want the fans to know, or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.